Talking is an essential tool to communicate with others in our daily lives. Just as words can win other people's hearts and help us maintain good relationships, they are essential communication tools in our lives. Depending on how you say something, you can either hurt others or make them happy. Although the variation may be subtle, it does make a difference. Here are 4 ways to change people's minds with a good tone of voice. 4 ways to change people's minds with a good tone of voice. Number 1. The even a penny technique. The human mind is significantly affected by trivial differences in speech. Professor Edwin Gross showed a pen and a pencil in the name of marketing research to the citizens of Chicago, and she said, "How much do you like these products?" And 36.1% said they liked them. A few days later, he asked instead, "How much do you hate these products?" And more people claimed that they hated the products. In fact, the approval rating dropped to 15.6%. Even though the questions are essentially the same, if you ask the question, "What do you like about them?" then more people will respond positively. On the other hand, if you ask, "What do you hate about them?" then more people will say they hate them. When you ask someone for something, make small changes in your tone of voice and make small requests first. Professor Robert Cialdini from the University of Arizona made this request during visits to 84 houses in his door-knocking campaign. "I am from the American Cancer Association. Please join me in the fundraising for the work that we conduct. Even a penny will do." In response to this request, 58.1% of the households were willing to donate and donated an average of $35. Alternatively, when he didn't say "even a penny will do," only 32.2% donated, and the average amount of money donated was $23. If you say "will do" when making a request, it increases the probability that the other person will respond to it and assist you beyond what you originally asked. "Can you help me for just 5 minutes?" If you ask this way, most of the time people will help you for more than 10 minutes. This method has been well established and is called the even a penny technique. It's so powerful that even people who know it can fall into it easily. A reporter asks for a good comment as he says, "I don't mind even if it's just a word." We're driven by the subconscious mind, and our mind is driven by words. So if you understand the psychology that moves the human mind and change your tone of voice accordingly, wouldn't it be possible to make your relationships with others and your career better than it is now? 4 ways to change people's minds with a good tone of voice. Number 2. Rhetoric. One of the preferred ways to communicate is a technique called rhetoric. Rather than giving a firm statement, you ask questions to allow people to think about the answers themselves. In short, let the others present their opinion without any pressure. For example, rather than strongly claiming, "We don't need military intervention," we can ask, "How can we expect diplomacy to solve this without military intervention?" Let's say you're a high school student and you're talking to your friend, who will soon take the college entrance exam. What if you say, "You need to study harder"? Wouldn't it make your friend feel bad? But if you use the rhetoric method and ask, "I know you want to play, but don't you think it'll be better to play after you get accepted to the college you want to go to?" Your friend would think that you've got a point there, and your friend may possibly be motivated to study harder. Professor Robert of Ohio University made his students read the following sentence: "It is better to give students a strict test." Of course, only a few of the students agreed. Then, Robert wrote the same sentence. Wouldn't taking the test help the student himself? Wouldn't that facilitate everyone's learning? And he made his students read the rhetoric. After this, the number of students who agreed increased significantly. If you ask people in a direct manner, not many people will respond positively to your request. As suggested earlier, you don't have to force your argument. Just by asking a question, you can persuade others to change their opinion to one that aligns with yours. Remember, the skill which made you more influential is the rhetoric. 4 ways to change people's minds with a good tone of voice. Number 3. Eat and talk. When persuading someone, you should try to persuade him or her by eating and drinking together. Irving, a psychologist at Yale University, did an experiment by arguing that within 25 years, an effective cancer drug would be developed. He wanted to see how different the results would be when he tried to persuade his students with Coke and cookies and without. When refreshments were provided, 81.1% of the students were persuaded. However, when Irving didn't provide cookies to his students, it was only 61.9%. Providing snacks alone raised the agreement rate by nearly 20%. Let's apply this method to our everyday life. When you ask a friend for a favor, why not hide some cookies or chocolates in your bag in advance and ask them for their help while giving them treats? Another good way is to provide a glass of juice for them and start talking about your request while drinking together. Measure how different the results are from what they used to be. I'm sure you'll be quite surprised. Eating something together helps to increase the affinity among people. As the expression, "under the same roof" implies, we become familiar with people who eat with us. When you share delicious food and drink, you begin to feel very comfortable with each other. When one feels comfortable, he or she will likely be open-minded towards others. Thus, when you're planning to ask your friend to do something for you, you should say, "Why don't we talk over lunch?" Usually, if you are in a situation where you would say, "I don't know what to say," or "I don't know how to be straightforward," then you should eat and drink together with people. Now that you're equipped with this skill, you can expect a more positive response from others by inviting them to eat and drink with you. 4 ways to change people's minds with a good tone of voice. Number 4. Speak with a clear purpose. In order to draw a yes from another person, you must clearly state the purpose or goal of what you are asking them. Often, people who are close with each other do not explain their purpose or reason properly when asking for something. But when another person asks for something that's not clear, it's hard for us to say, "Okay, will do." For instance, if someone tells you without any reason to go to the bookstore, you wouldn't normally just go. But if that person explains the purpose to you, if you go to the bookstore now, you'll be able to participate in an autograph signing event with your favorite author. Then you'll be glad to go. Another example is, if you are asked to make a screw and you didn't know why the person needed it, then you may lose interest in helping that person. But if the person says, "I need screws to build the Olympic Stadium," and if you are told what that screw is for, you'll build it with more energy. If you give a purpose, people will have a changed attitude towards the request. The closer you are to someone, the politer you should be. It's better to not ask at all if you're not willing to state the purpose. You have to explain your goals so that your friends can understand and assist with repeated requests. Why should you be especially careful with those in close relationships? If you ask a vague question, you may create a growing sense of confusion amongst your close friends. When I observed social interactions, I saw that people with fewer friends were generally too violent or forceful when asking for something. Those who explained the purpose in a polite manner were received more sympathetically, and their network was expanded as they accumulated the know-how and skills to explain their goals more professionally. Why do you want people to do you a favor? What does the request mean? When you fully explain this, the other person will understand you and be more willing to listen to what you're saying. 4 ways to change people's minds with a good tone of voice. To summarize, the even a penny technique, rhetoric, eating and talking together, speak with a clear purpose. Be sure to remember these 4 techniques. I hope your new tone of voice will make things work out well and make your relationships better.